Hey there, and welcome to Costa Rica Story Live. And I always try to see if the audio is working. So if anybody's out there and you can leave me a comment, let me know if the audio is working okay. That's always helpful to me. But it's the last day of August 2023. That's crazy. And the Whale Festival is coming up, and I'll go through my show notes here, my little reminders that I pop up on the screen. But if you're tuning in, and let me know where you're coming from, where you are, and let me know if you can hear the audio. 'Cause it's an experimental thing. This is my second or third time using it, so it worked great last week. That doesn't mean it's going to work this week. So let's see. Hey James, what's going on, man? Loud and clear, excellent. Thank you for the verification. Thank you for the validation. So this is my first cup of coffee. Well, actually, no, I had a cup of coffee at home. So glad that the audio is working. That's great. Thank you, Linda. Buenos dias. Yeah, it used to be so simple when I did the lives because I would just bring my computer and set it up. And now I've got my 35 millimeter camera, which it's better quality, but it's more complicated and more chances of something going wrong. But it's worth the little extra just because the view is so great here. I got a really good head start because they had my coffee waiting for me when I came in. And at my house morning, like at 4:00 in the morning when I woke up, yeah, I know that's early, but at 4:00 in the morning when I woke up, the internet was working fine. And then like about 6, it doesn't work. So I was a little bit worried that we weren't going to have internet here, but we do. So that's great. Super great. So probably the smartest thing for me to do is to let you see the view because it's a beautiful day. Although I always say I do prefer the cloudier days. I'm going to throw her on manual focus too. Let's see. So we're at, I know the exact time because I've got a little, while you're in the middle of the hurricane, Buenos dias, Kim H, probably on the roads more in his truck, but James is saying you survived the hurricane. Let me see, wow. I'm so out of touch with what goes on, back in the States these days. I know you've been getting hot weather, and I knew there was some crazy weather, but I wasn't sure how broadly that affected. But it's great to have that generator, having a generator backup. And when I was in the States, I had a generator because we had a lot of maybe like ice events that would make you need a generator. Well, good to hear that you're okay and surviving, thriving. So yeah, the weather here, I can't complain about it. But I still do, to quote Joe Walsh from the song "Life's Been Good." He says, "I can't complain, but sometimes I still do." My only complaint here usually is it's too sunny and it's too much for my skin because I like to be outside doing things. Okay, I'm just going to go into, let me see. So, hola. And we're coming from the Don Roger Restaurante just outside of Uvita. And it's a great place to come and see the whale tail, which is what you're looking at right now. And it's a, see if I can get that camera a little straighter. It's hard to, I'll go the other way with it. Actually, there's hardly any delay in the camera, which I'm really surprised with. But the Don Roger's just outside of Uvita. And it's an easy drive to get up here and a great place to come and see the whale tail, whether it's at breakfast or at sunset, which everybody is telling me, you come here and do a sunset live, which would be cool. It should definitely be cool. So there's always a lot of information I put in the links down below in the description, whether it's a live or whether it's just a regular video. So make sure you check that, because there's things like I've got a link to a video of this place that I did that really lets you see what it's like here. So that link is down below in the description, and you click more info underneath the video, and it opens up a whole new world of info. And also there's a link there and how you can help Costa Rica Story, like what you're doing right now, watching the videos, sharing the videos, and using my services. There's a link talking all about that. So go in the description and check that out at some point. And today, oh, that's not right. I've got low tides. Oh, yes, it is right. Yes, or is it right? I'm not sure if that's right or not. No, I think that's left over from last week. Yes, it is, because low tide today is like 8 something. So that's wrong. That's wrong. I changed it, but I didn't save it. So we're looking at just about low tide now up there, so you can see the whale tail really well. So if you hear some noise, there's a building being built next door, right next door. So it could get loud, but that's in Costa Rica. That's the way of things lately, especially if you live in a place like Uvita, which is such a place of growth. This place is growing so fast, and you can look at it if it's that it's bad, that it's good, whatever it is. It's growing fast, and that's just what it is here. So yeah, once again, I've had a busy week. I made a trip up to San Jose, and I'm getting so driving to San Jose is not as bad as it used to be, because it used to seem like such an ordeal. But like my friend Daniel always says about drives, he says, once you take the drive a few times, you're not going to it's going to seem a lot less. It seems like it takes less time. So yeah, as I mentioned before, there's construction going on right next door. So they're right at it, because in Costa Rica you start work early, really early. It's it isn't early here anymore. It's 7:23 here, but usually people get working at daylight, any time, usually around 5:30 or a little bit before. So you'll be hearing the sights and sounds of Costa Rica, which may be not exactly what you think it is. Sometimes it's birds, like there was lapas this morning, the scarlet macaws flying by, and they have their own little sound. But there's also, the sounds of weed whackers and cars and construction. So I got a trail cam last time I went back to the States, and it's been a lot of fun. I actually hadn't started using it till a few days ago, and I set it up, and I did get some things out there. I don't live in the wilderness. I live pretty close to town. So there was a raccoon, possum, a wood rail, and there's this animal. It's kind of like a giant guinea pig. Aguacate. I'm not pronouncing that right, but I've got one of those that lives in the vicinity. I've seen them in the daytime a few times, but I think they're primarily nocturnal. So I've got some of him on the trail cam. I haven't checked the trail cam in probably 2 or 3 days. So I want to get back there and check that out. Aguacate. So tomorrow starts the Festival of the Whales and Dolphins. So it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So there's a lot of stuff going on with that. Because as you know, as I mentioned before, the southern hemisphere humpback whale migration is it's in town. It's here for a while, and there's whales around, because yesterday I went out on my kayak by myself, I should mention that I'm switching from paddle boards to kayak. So because I've been doing so much kayaking, there's no point in me even keeping the paddle board. So they're up on the market for sale, and I picked up a kayak. And I was supposed to go out with a friend of mine in the morning, but he overslept. He had a really rough day the day before, so I ended up going by myself. And so it was my first voyage out on my kayak, and it was great because I was headed out for a certain spot, and this whale basically swam in front of me and said, "Hey, here I am." And I've got footage of that. I'll show you that in a minute, or at some point in the broadcast. It'll be a teaser. It's just a short video. I do have more video of the whale sighting, but today I'm going to try to experiment and see if I can show you that on here. I won't do it right now, but I'll use that as a teaser to keep everybody engaged, because as they say, engagement's what it's all about, right? But if you want to go on a kayak trip, anything, I always plug my friend Victor, because he gives such a great experience, and he's got a small growing business, and he's a fun guy to be around. And it's just it's a cool experience. I've learned so much about the ocean and about kayaks, and I wouldn't have been able to go out by myself had I not spent so much time with Victor going through all the different things that have to do with the ocean. And don't forget to go to CostaRicaMove.com, because it's a business that is keeping me able to be here and make videos. So if you're enjoying the videos and you're enjoying all the different things we do here, the lives and things, consider using my services if you're coming here on vacation. And if you're coming here to move, I have help with that too. I am very bad at verbalizing these things. That's why I have CostaRicaMove.com. And last day of the August special for the like a day adventure in Uvita, and that's just a full day in Uvita, and basically doing whatever you want to do here. There's a lot of different options we can talk about. And Cafe Don Emilio, the official coffee of Costa Rica Story, with my friend Dainair, mi amigo mejor. Well, there's a couple of lapas flying in the distance, a couple of scarlet macaws just over the whale tail. So Dainair does a coffee tour also, and this is a great time to book a coffee tour because it's the off season and there's more openings, and also the weather's been super fantastic. Is for most people. For me, it's too sunny. I'm complaining again, right? But it's been a rainy season of sun. We've been getting a lot of rain, but it doesn't last long. I mean, it rains usually at some point, like in the night, maybe it'll rain a little bit, but it's in frequency we get it, but we don't get the soakers that we are supposed to be getting this time of year. All right, so as always, check the description down below. I know I sound like a broken record, but I've got a lot of things on there that I've been putting below. Just say, okay, I got to catch up with my. Good morning, Doug. ¿Cómo está? Doug's from Jersey. No, I don't have a stove or oven. That's one thing if I had it to do over, that would be something that it would be higher on my priority list. I've got an electric, what do you call those things? It's just an electric stovetop that it's portable and you can put on your counter. But there's having a stove would be sorry, I get distracted easy. Having a stove would be such a great thing to have. So if I didn't actually think I was going to be in this spot for as long as I have been. So, but it would be a great thing to have. Business side, it's going. It's definitely going. I was talking with some business people here. A lot of people that I'm friends with have businesses, and the thing is, when you're in Costa Rica, you multiple income streams is the way to be, and that's most people I know that have businesses are, have a lot of different things going. They're spinning a lot of different plates. Yeah, so the business is, it's going. It's not going as fast as it could be, but I'm doing some work with real estate agents also. But I'm also, I want to promote the tourism part of what I'm doing here too. I mean, I do the relocation thing, which is great, and I enjoy doing that. But I also enjoy the showing people around Uvita. It's just so great when somebody comes here and I take them to see these things for the first time, and I can live vicariously through them. So I really enjoy that. I would love to do more of that. So if you're thinking of coming to Uvita and you want to have a fun time, and it'll be different than if you just came and you did a few different tours. I just I'm a different kind of guy anyway, so that has a lot to do with that. Well, yeah. Well, thanks for asking. It's tough. A growing business is tough. It always takes patience, paciencia. And I get some really strange requests from people. I had somebody that was, most, if you're listening to this live and you've been watching Costa Rica videos for a while, or if you're familiar with Costa Rica, you know that it's not cheap here. And I like last week I had somebody saying that, yeah, I'd like to come to Costa Rica, but I know I don't have a budget for the beach. So could you find a 3-bedroom house? Doesn't have to be near the beach, for $250 to $300. And I'm like, man, how out of touch does somebody have to be? I mean, it's maybe like 20 years ago that you could find that here, but that's not something you're going to find in Costa Rica. Yeah, well, if as far as options for here, I I can do like the simple things to do right in the general area, but I also can do the other things. It costs more because those are premium options. But I can do custom trips that can do anything from the zip lines to ATV tours, and I mean even I always try to promote the kayak tour because that's so much fun. And if you're in the area and if you live in this area, uh, think about joining a kayak club because you get a card, and you go every Monday, and it's a discounted rate. I'm not sure exactly what the rate is, but there's yeah, it's that's fun. But there's so many different things to do. There's so many cultural things to do. There's like, for instance, yeah, I'm just I'm so distracted with any kind of noise. But there's coconut tours. There's things I'm going to be doing videos on that'll be a really good example of some of the things you can do. I need to focus on some of those things. But there's a really cool zip line, maybe like 45 minutes uh, south of here, and there's one like just like 15, 20 minutes from here in Baru that I haven't tried yet, which I'd like to give it a shot. Yeah, yeah, it's nice to see the area from a different perspective, because I was thinking about it the other day. It's like I take so much of this for granted that people know, that Ventanas is a cool place to visit, that's really close by, or just some of the small waterfalls and things. So being able to show somebody the things that most people kind of miss it's great. And also going to one of the things I like to do is bring people to El Mercado. It's the farmers market, because there's so many small businesses there. I mean, we're talking small businesses mostly, and it's great to introduce. There's quite a few of my friends that speak English, and there's others that don't speak English, but they can communicate with you. If you know what I mean, it's really it's a fun thing to do. But when I first moved here, I did a lot of exploring on foot because I didn't have a car for the first 3 months. So that was a good way to see a lot of things. But I still every time I go out, I have the chance of seeing something I haven't seen before. I go down a road I've never been down before. It's always interesting to do that. So we have had some excitement the last few days here. My friend Calvin, sí, Tostada Francisca, sí, porfa. I know how to pronounce that. I just get that stage fright. And I was just ordering my breakfast. So I was just mentioning that my friend. Let's see. I'm multitasking here, so if I sound like I'm lost, I'm not really. I'm just multitasking. So yeah, this week was kind of interesting because my friend Calvin, he's a leader in the community, and he's in real estate and a lot of other different things. But one of the things he does, he advocates for the community, and we have a road that goes down to the whale tail, and of course the whale tail is one of the it's the main attraction when people come here. And there's a road that goes down there, and the thing had so many potholes in it, it was horrible to drive on. It was great with a mountain bike, but with a car, it was just there's just potholes you get lost in. And he was having a hard time getting them to come and fix the road because the festival starts tomorrow. And when people there are different roads to get down there, but like Waze and Google sends you down this road. So people coming here for the festival would have been exposed to this horrible road. It was, I mean, even by Costa Rica standards, it was a bad road. And they do usually grade it every year to fix it, but they hadn't done it. So what Calvin did, he organized a protest, and one of the things they do to protest in Costa Rica is to cause roadblocks, like usually at a bridge. So that's what they did. They did a 3-hour roadblock over the Rio Uvita, the bridge there, and you always get mixed comments about that. Some people were just totally annoyed by it, and other people were glad that he was stepping up like that. But he did accomplish what he wanted to, because shortly after that, they're like, well, I guess he's serious about this. So that road is all graded down there from Route 34 down to the whale tail. Actually, from the hardware store down to the whale tail is the part that's dirt. And eventually that road is probably going to get paved, which I like it being there. There's not many dirt roads left in town. There's a lot of dirt roads. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of dirt roads around, but as far as the main thoroughfares in town, there's not many that are dirt anymore. So if you are coming to the Whale and Dolphin Festival, the Festival of the Whales and Dolphins, you will be able to safely drive without losing your muffler on the road. And I was helping them promote this a little bit because they promote in Spanish language. Then there is in Uvita there is a lot of within country tourism, local tourism, and people will come from San Jose to come down here, and different all parts of Costa Rica just to come here. But most of the promotion was in Espanol. So I've been helping them a little bit with that. I'll just drop this video I did. First, let me get rid of this center. I'll show you a little video promotion thing I did for them. I did an interview with them to an English language video. Oh, there's a flock of white birds right over the whale tail in a few seconds. So they're kind of below where the whale tail is. I don't know if you can see them or not. So easily distracted. But where was I? Oh yeah, I did it. And festival. Here's a little did see if I can get us there. So that was a little animated promotion thing I did just to let the English speaking people know what's going on, because when something is in Spanish, not everybody can get it. I try to get the translator out and stuff, but sometimes you just can't. But there's a lot of stuff, as you saw in the banner, there's a lot of stuff going on during the festival. And it's not just whales, but it is, excuse me, so whale tours are cheaper. For $20 for an adult, you can go out and do the whale tour. The only thing different during the festival is the whale. It's a shorter tour because they don't take you out to go swimming, because that's usually what happens with a whale tour. You go out and you look at whales for a while, and then you go back towards Whale Rock, and they let you jump off the boat and go swimming. Not everybody wants to do that. Some people have a little bit of fear. So usually about half the people will go off and go swimming. I was out there swimming the other day when we're on a kayak. Sometimes we get out and just relax and go swimming, because when you're on a kayak and you're paddling for a while, your legs get a little bit sore from being in the boat. So it's nice to hop out and swim around. So let me see. I wanted to show you that video of my whale sighting. So when you're out around whales, you have to give them distance for a lot of different reasons, primarily for safety for you and the whales, but it's also legally you're not supposed to be close to the whales. So I want to show you this video, but I also point out that I shoot in 4K, so when I edit it, I can blow it up a lot. So I'm not as close to this whale as it seems that I might be. Well, I'll show you the video of this was yesterday, my first trip with my new kayak, and it was I was pretty lucky to have this encounter. So that was pretty fun. I enjoyed it's almost the sound when you're out there by yourself, the sound it's so tranquilo. When you go out and see whales on a whale boat, everybody, if a whale pops up, everybody's screaming and yelling and oh look, oh, no, there's kids on there, forget about it, the kids go nuts. But when you're out there by yourself, it's I was telling one of my friends, it's just like a Zen experience. It's like you hear that sound of the blowhole and you can hear you can hear just I can't explain it, just it's the sound of the air going through the blowhole. It almost vibrates you, I did turn the volume up on when I edited that, but that was a real cool experience. So today I ordered the tostada francesca, which I can smell cooking right now. So I've been meaning to do lives with some other people, but it's so hard to get people with other people's schedules. Plus, doing it at 7:15 in the morning, not everybody is ready to at that time of day. Even though this is a early rising country and neighborhood, it's a tough time to get people because a lot of things aren't open yet. But my friend Cindy is doing a fundraiser for the local kids that dress in their the typical outfits and the typical dance, and they do it competitively, I guess. And she's trying to raise money for new dresses for that. And she's so great. She's a Tika, and she's got a business here, and she's just involved in so many different things. And I will get her on a live one of these times. I don't think that she's used to being on camera very much, but she does like promoting her things. And there's certain people that are just always going, and she's one of those people. She's always got something going, and she'll take on something else when she's in the middle of this and that. And those are the kind of people that get things done. So, and they're usually successful in business too when you know people like that. So I may not be able to do a live next Thursday. I'm helping a friend of a friend with a real estate thing, trying to he's trying to sell some property. I'm going to help him do some drone video and different things. Yeah, there's a phone number listed down below in the description. If you go below the video, click on more, and it'll be a WhatsApp number for Victor. And I think I may have his Facebook page too. If you hear growling, that's Mishu. That's Mishu the puppy. She's actually a big dog, but she's an older dog, but she's a tiny dog, I should say. So yeah, go down in the description and scroll down. I'm not sure how far it is. It should be in there. The Uvita Kayak Club. And since we've been seeing whales more often, people are definitely signing up faster. I got two little dogs wrestling underneath my feet. Ah, excelente. Muchas gracias. Oh, you guys. These dogs are funny. They like to wrestle right at my feet. I wish I could. I should probably mute my mic while I'm eating. So I've been really enjoying kayaking, but there's one thing I my weakest part of kayaking is riding the waves in, and and I've been watching videos, and I know the things you're supposed to do, but I just need to get some practice in. And the kayak I have now it's got a more rigid seat, which I want to change out, and that makes it a little bit more dangerous when you're, if you get flipped over. It's not like getting flipped over in the waves isn't a huge thing, but you can get bumped on the head and oh, little monster. But I was reading an article about the weather pattern, and it looks like the surf is going to start getting rough in a week or so, which I'm not really looking forward to. Con mucho gusto. Yeah. So generally, what happens with the kayaking is if it looks like the weather's going to be really bad, and we plan on going out in the ocean, a lot of times we'll have a backup plan and go to the mangroves instead, which is it's just a whole different pool experience. But there's one thing that I've been dying to do, and I haven't been able to do yet because the conditions have to be just right. But there's three islands offshore, the Three Sisters, and in one of those there's a cave, and you can go inside the cave and paddle through, but it has to be low tide and it has to be really calm. Otherwise, it's too dangerous to do it. So that's on my bucket list. I don't think I can't. I'm not sure if he rents the kayaks themselves, but he provides the kayaks for going out. And I mean, the price that he charges is probably less than what other places charge to rent them out. And it's worth having that local guide just to tell you the little subtle nuances that you need to watch out for. Depending on where you go, sometimes there'll be like currents caused by the right lowering and rising tide. There's things that I never considered. Every time I go out, it seems like I learn something new. Because I was not raised on the ocean. I was raised on like river kayaking, very small river kayaking. and it's just a whole new set of things to think about when you're out on the ocean. And you shouldn't go out by yourself. But sometimes for me, I'm a single guy, and a lot of times I want to go out and just go somewhere. So that's always kind of how I've done things. It is more dangerous if you go out by yourself. So when you do go out by yourself, you're always more careful. And now that I have my own kayak and I load it on my car myself, and I have to drag it out to the beach myself. I was telling Victor yesterday. I said, I've got I have a new appreciation for having somebody have the kayak sitting waiting for you at the shore, because I mean the kayak weighs maybe around 50 some odd pounds. It's heavier than my paddleboard, and they're awkward, so it's kind of hard to flip them up onto the roof rack. And I had to go up. I was at Pinwhelis yesterday, and I had to. It was there's these rocks, so you have to go. There's no real good footing, so you have to like make your way up the rocks. And it was with two people, it would have been much easier. But I was like, when you go out with a kayak club or a tour with Victor, he's got himself and usually a helper, and they'll bring the kayaks right to the shore, and he'll do a little orientation, and then you're off on your way. Well, rent for a 1 bedroom, it really varies. I think in this area, within an hour of here, you could probably. I would like 500 would be the bare minimum for a not fancy of a place. But if you go towards San Isidro, like if you're like in San Isidro, prices are way cheaper just because it's not close to the ocean. Yeah, there's so many variables. I think if you if if you start, I mean, you don't if you're looking for a place, I always tell people not to tell you, not to give your budget. You say, well, I'll tell you what I'm looking for, and then you tell me what you have and what the price is. Because if you tell somebody you're like if you say, oh, I've got 1,500 to spend for a rent, then somebody that's got an $800 place is going to charge more, and that's kind of what happened here. So many people came from out of this, from the States or from wherever, and they had these big budgets because they're used to paying a lot of money for rents in certain areas of the States, and it really caused the explosion in prices. So, I mean, for a lower end place, it would be, from what I've seen, probably like around 500, and a nicer place, 1,200 and up. It really depends, and it also depends on the things you need. Like we were talking about, like having a kitchen and things. That's probably that can be considered a luxury in some places to have a stove. But a stove is a good thing to have. But in coming here, I mean, you don't have to be like me and like stay in the same place that you land on, which I have, and I because I like it where I am. But I mean, you can get your first place, then check around and see if you can find another place that suits you better. Once you meet people here, you're able to just do a little networking and find out what's available. Yeah, so the prices really are all over the board. And that's true with real estate too. I mean, people are going to charge whatever they can. So yeah, and I do know people that I know some people that have a house that's actually a whole house, and they're right around 500, but they ended up, they got to know the owner, and then there were certain things that weren't right with the house that you know that they could live with, that the owner decided to come down on the price a little bit because of that. Yeah, so it's not impossible to find a place with the oven. It's just less common in a smaller place. Like in a bigger place, usually, but a lot of places are like kind of motel style, like tranquilo. Michu doesn't like the mopping, so she barks at the mop. Michu, he's a little pup. They also, that's the owner coming up on his motorcycle, I think. Yeah, Michu's a little puppy here. She's security. She's a welcome wagon. Have a good one, James. Anytime. Pleasure's mine. I love sharing all this beautiful stuff here. And safe travels. So baking can get complicated here too. Kim was saying they does a lot of baking. I look at there's a Cooking in Costa Rica Facebook group, and there's ingredients are always hard to find. People want certain things that they used to cook with and they can't find here. For instance, like the butter here is a lot different than the butter back in the States. And people don't seem as obsessed with butter here as they are in the States. Like with pancakes and French toast, they don't give you butter with that. I mean, if you ask for it, they probably would. But it's just a different way of doing things. But I think that's part of being happy here, is accepting that things are different, and that if you're cooking, or if your car needs a different part, you have to improvise. But I was talking with a guy the other day, and he was just so frustrated with the fact that he wanted something cooked a certain way, and he went to a restaurant and they just couldn't get it right, and they never seemed to get it right. But I mean, if you want to have things how it was when you were in whatever country you came from, why would you have that mentality? It's like, if things aren't perfect, it might not be because it's not as good. It's just different, and you have to like make those adjustments. I'm not saying that you have to. I'm saying that's the way I look at it. If I go somewhere and the pizza is made with a different kind of cheese than I'm used to, it's like, well, maybe if I have this a few times like this, it'll be something that I'll really enjoy. And that is, and I found that to be true. Yeah, everything seems to be expensive here. I think that's definitely one of the things that a lot of people have they still have the misconception that it's cheap in Costa Rica. And I mean, if you've been around watching videos, if you've been here a few times to Costa Rica, you know that's not true. But there's some people that, I mean, they're just checking things out for the first time, and maybe they're reading an article from 15 years ago or something, and it's saying how you can live so cheap in Costa Rica, the same lifestyle you had back in the States and better. But, the common consensus is if you want to come here and live economically, don't expect to have the North American standards. Make your concessions in the things that you may be used to or you may think are important. I think that's part of assimilation. You just if you're here a while, you just you accept things for how they are, and it's not always better and it's not always worse. It's just different. A couple of scarlet macaws from left to right above the whale tail right now, and heading towards the shore. And I've got to fill up my gas tank on the way home. And that's always a painful experience. And one of the services I'm offering is to pick you up at San Jose and bring you down to Uvita area or other places here in the southern zone. Because I know when I first came here, that was one of the things I was worried about because I had never been here before. And actually I had a taxi set up to pick me up. But it would have been better to have somebody meet me at the airport. Because when you get off the plane in San Jose, it can be intimidating if you walk out onto the street. Everybody's out there with signs wanting to give you a ride and different things. Yeah, and my first time here, I couldn't find my driver. Then I finally did find him after I actually had somebody help me find him. There's a line of people, and I think this guy hadn't done it before. He hadn't made the journey before, so that was interesting. But it's nice. It would be nice to come off the plane and see a familiar face at the airport. I mean, I can't be inside the airport, but I can be out on the street when you come out the door, holding a sign saying, "Hey." But I need to do some promotional videos with clients to show some of the services better. I mean, making videos is what I do, so it's kind of a no-brainer that I should have some videos on the topic. But the problem is, not everybody that uses my services wants to be on YouTube, so that limits it. Maybe I'll do a promotion for somebody that wants to. That's willing to be part of a video and give up a little bit of their privacy. It's not like a huge deal. So the whale sightings are interesting. For instance, last week we went out and we didn't see any whales. But the 2 weeks before we saw whales, and then I went out yesterday and I saw whales. You don't know what it's going to be. Like anything can happen in the ocean. You can see anything. I saw an olive ridley turtle on the way out there. They're fairly common, not common, but you have a good chance of seeing one of those floating around. So I was really tired. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do this, but I set it up yesterday. When I get it set up, I'm committed to doing it. But I was just so tired. I went to San Jose on Tuesday, and I went out kayaking yesterday, and my eyes are totally bloodshot. I'm really, really tired. Muy cansado. But this is always a good way to start a day. It gives me a good positive jump start for the day. I mean, who doesn't love this view? And yesterday before I went out kayaking, and I did my whole sunscreen routine, but I didn't want to get sunscreen on my feet because I don't want my feet to slide. So I have a really greasy sunscreen that I use, and sometimes I use, and so I didn't really get the bottoms of my shins, and that actually that was the only place I got burned, was the bottom of my shins, right above my water shoes. I thought maybe I put a little bit down there, but apparently I didn't. But sunscreen is a serious thing. You really have to be serious about it. And I did a video of myself out on the ocean, and like a selfie type video. And after I get out on the ocean a little bit, I'll take another like dab of that white zinc sunscreen, and I'll spread that around. But in the video, it's like, that stuff is all caked on my face, and like I look like a clown. But it's such a serious thing with the sun. It's worth it to look like a silly clown to avoid that next day of torture. I still did get a little bit of a sunburn, but 3 hours out on the ocean and towards I was getting I didn't finish up till I was 8, 9, 10. From like 8 to 11. The sun's pretty intense then. That's not the peak sun, but it's getting towards it like 11. It's pretty bad. So I fared pretty well, not being too fried. So there's one day left for the August special, or a tour. It's like an all-day custom agenda of exploring Uvita, the things that I see here every day. And there's a lot of options within the options for things to do. We can talk about, what your priorities are, because you can't really do everything. I mean, you definitely can't do everything. You have to pick a few things and then spend time doing them. But I had one woman trying to set up a day trip, and she just Or she said, so she thinks she only needs a half a day. And then she was going through all these things she wanted to do. I'm like, yeah, if you had an airplane, maybe you could fly over all this stuff. But I see everybody, I see a lot of people come here and to Costa Rica in general, and they just want to, I don't know, they just want to stamp stuff off their bucket list. But that's not a really good way to go about things. You need to enjoy the things you're doing, spend some time. You don't want to be driving. That's one thing. You don't be driving around all the time. Pick 2 or 3 things to do in a day. And so many times I go to the national park, and the national park it's a big park, so it's got like 5 separate entrances spread out along the coast. A lot of times when I'll go early in the morning to for instance, the whale tail, and I'll say, well, I spent this almost $7 to get into the beach. I'm going to go home after this, my time here at the whale tail. Then get ready in the afternoon. I'm going to go and do some things. And then by the afternoon, you're like, oh, well, it's almost time's running out, and I'm tired and I'm sunburned. So yeah, just enjoy your little time you have. Quality time, don't try to cram too much into it. Oh yeah, these lives go by faster these days. So I'm definitely working on having some guests on the live. I know a lot of interesting people here that I'm sure you all would love to meet. All people that put smiles on the face. I have a lot of good people I know here. All right, have a great one, Kim. I'm not sure how far behind I am in my comments, but I wanted to show me get rid of that. Let you look at Michu. Puppy, what are you doing? She's my protector when I'm doing a live. Well, she's all worn out now from fighting with her buddy. Michu, Michu. It's funny, the vultures usually at some point will start circling out there, but there's not the big flock there usually is. Or maybe they're still waiting in the trees to come out. And people always talk about vultures in a negative way, and they're such a positive bird. I mean, look what they do. They're like, they take care of all the different things. So there's two big ones going right by. Hola. Whoa. Pero bravo. So the vulture flock is gathering out there. It's interesting. So I'm really interested to see what I'm going to find on my trail cam. Maybe I should, it's been 2 or 3 days. Maybe I'll check that when I get back in. It seems I get most of the action from like 2 a.m. to like 6 a.m. But there's a bird. It's a wood rail. I think that's what it is. But it's also called a name. It sounds to me like chilicoca. But when I say chilicoca, my Costa Rican friends laugh at me because I'm mispronouncing it. All right. All right, so I'm going to go through and just remind everybody about the Whale Festival. I know at Festival of the Whales and Dolphins. There's a link to that down below, and it's a good opportunity to see whales at a lower rate, like 20 mil for an adult. I think 15 mil for under 11 or under 10. Under 10, I think it is. And there's a lot of things going on. There's like environmental education programs, and there's like a kite building thing they got going on, and there's music at night. There's music for those who like to partay. And don't forget Costa Rica Move. Oh, I forgot to do my banner. I got that little banner that I need to show across, so I look like I'm fancy. It's not new anymore. Costa Rica Move it's established now, so it's there. It's relatively new. I guess we can call it new. And if you need to send an email, you can contact me by going to Costa Rica Move, and there's a contact form. Or you can also contact me at hola@costaricastory.com for your help in your move to Costa Rica or your visit to Costa Rica. So I'm going to try to do an on-camera exit here so you can see how I'm crooked. Let me go wide angle. Oh, got a manual focus. This is what happens with live, right? So thanks for tuning in to Costa Rica Story Live. I appreciate your attention. I appreciate you watching the videos, and I appreciate you empathizing with my situation at times. And that's all I've got for this edition of Costa Rica Story. And I'm trying to be smooth. It's so hard to be smooth. Smooth. I'm going to do it with my little. All right, make sure to check out in the description down below all the cool links that I put there. There's links that a lot of the things I'm talking about today, and a lot of the different opportunities for working with Costa Rica Story for your move or your vacation. Thanks for joining me for breakfast. I've mentioned this before, and I wasn't sure why I started at 7:15. I started doing lives at 7:15. There's a few different reasons. It worked out good with with, the opening of a restaurant. But the core thing was I used to have friends at a job that I worked at before I came here. And every morning, it was a job that none of us really liked. But in the morning, we would all get together for coffee at 7:15. That was our time. 7:15, we get together and we'd waste like half an hour of our employer's time just talking about stuff and drinking coffee. And now I have the opportunity to waste time and drink coffee with a lot of people watching live and a lot of people watching the recorded version of it. So I appreciate you joining me for Costa Rica Story Live. All right. That's all I've got for this edition of Costa Rica Story. Make sure you like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, but most importantly, share this video and this channel with a friend. Hasta luego.